Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast battle report. Today in the icy depths of space along the asteroid field of the Gerhald Belt, we have the Drukhari forces facing off against a strike force of Grey Knights sent to purge them from Imperial space. Let's begin. Hello and welcome to this open war battle report. 1,250 points will face off in the asteroid belt. Grey Knights versus Drukhari. So we've decided to play open war, and I've got Sam here with me, who's brand new to the area.
Why, hello.
Hello, Sam. Thanks for coming down for a game. And so this is what we've decided. We have this deployment. The Grey Knights have picked this deployment. It's a spearhead. So they're going to be deploying essentially up into this landing pad. The mission is kill points, Kingslayer. So it's power level kill points, and if the enemy warlord is destroyed, then they're worth double points. And the twist is restoratives. So restorative power means that you can pick a unit and it gains D3 wounds. So it's really gonna be good for his tanks and stuff like that, which is awesome. Or my tanks, or characters, which is pretty cool. So it's gonna be hard to kill the warlords if we don't get them.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
They've got stims. Okay, so stay tuned as we set up this really cool game. It's 5 turns, because that's what open war is, 5 turns.
Exactly.
And let's take a look at Sam's Grey Knights and my Drukhari. Let's begin. Okay, so here is 1,250 points of Grey Knights, led by Grandmaster Voldus. And Sam is going to go over what he has decided to take for his army.
Okay, so first off, my choice of warlord will be the Librarian, contrary to what one might think. So he's equipped with a relic, Sorry, just checking my notes.
Yeah, it's all good. So he's the warlord.
Yep.
Okay.
With the Fury of Deimos.
Okay.
The Stormbolter relic.
Mm-hmm.
And he's also equipped with a Nemesis Dread
hammer.
Nemesis hammer. Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Big hammer.
Yep. So do you want me to go over psychic powers right now?
You can if you like.
Okay. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So basically, for my Librarian, I got Gate of Infinity and Sanctuary, and of course the Rite of Banishment, as all Grey Knight units get. So next up we get Grandmaster Voldus.
Yep.
Basically is coming as is. So he's got Purge Soul, Sanctuary, and Vortex of Doom.
Vortex. Nice.
Next up, we've got our 2 Venerable Dreadnoughts.
2 Venerable Grey Knight double autocannon Dreadnoughts.
Yep. So I know there was a bit of a talk about the twin autocannons. Yeah. And I think the final verdict was that it was still allowed. So
if you use the index like war gear options. Yep. Absolutely.
So basically, their psychic powers. For this one, it's gonna be Astral Aim.
Yeah.
And for the one with the shield with the Inquisition sigil on it, it's gonna be Gate of Infinity.
Cool. So a teleporting dreadnought.
Yep. It's always fun. Just imagine like a armed casket flying around.
Yeah.
Big fun.
I'm not dead yet. Woo! Woohoo! Woohoo! Woo!
Next up, we got the Purifier Squads, which they still need to get the white painted on their helmet. That's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Basically, they're WYSIWYG. They're all equipped with Nemesis Force Swords.
Yeah.
And they have just give me a second, sorry. Hammer and Psychic Power.
Okay, cool.
So next up, we've got a Storm Talon gunship.
Yeah.
So he's gonna use the twin assault cannons and the 2 las cannons.
Very cool. Now the Grey Knights can have some air support. It works out great.
I think it's helpful.
Yeah.
So it gives us a bit of versatility. So
I love it.
There's that. And next up, we've got a squad of interceptors.
Yeah.
Basically, I've got 2 with halberds, 2 with swords, and my Justicar is sporting a quite fashiony hammer.
There you go. I love it. And that is 1,250 points
and
of Grey Knights.
Also, the interceptor have the Vortex of Doom, because why not?
Why not? Might as well do some psychic powers.
Yes, of course.
Okay, so this is the force that has been sent to reclaim the asteroid belt from the Drukhari. Let's come back with Archon Skari's force that will be defending the asteroid field. Okay, so here's 1,250 points of Dark Eldar. So we start with a battalion detachment, including Archon, Skari, Succubus, a Slith, a Beastmaster. Then for troops, I've got 7 Witches with a Hydra Gauntlet, and I have 2 5-man Cavalite Warrior units with a Blaster in each unit. Then for fast attack, well, following in the elites, we've got 5 Mandrakes, 9 Razorwing Flocks, 10 Hellions that are probably going to jump out of a webway portal, the Beastmaster, a Raider with a Disintegrator Cannon, that's my converted Raider there, looks like a Tantalus, a Venom with dual cannons, and a Venom with dual cannons, and to round it all off, a Ravager with 3 Lances and a Shock Prow. So this is 1,250 points ready to face off against the Grey Knights in this open war battle report. So anything can happen. Let's get to the mission and deployment. Okay, so now we're going to deploy, and I did get a ruse. This is my ruse. So when it is activated, I will be getting it. But other than that, the Grey Knights have deployed their first unit, and I get the 2 corners to deploy as well. So let's see. It's going to be cool. This is 3D, so you have to take advantage of up and down. And the space is, of course, deadly space. Okay, so we are back after deployment. So I got these 2 little corners. Cool thing is, the corner kind of also let me get that area there. It's really cool to have the 3D. So I put a Ravager up here. I've deployed the Razorwings. Things that can fly because they're flying. So they can go over this sort of thing. Then you have a Venom with 5 Cavalite Warriors. Then on this flank, I put another Venom with 5 Cavalite Warriors. My Super Raider, full of 7 Witches, Slith, Archon, Succubus. Pretty much everything is right here. So a lot of stuff. And the Grey Knight, Sam, has deployed his army in a spearhead formation. So underneath this crater we have 1 Venerable Dreadnought with autocannons. We've got the Storm Talon, another Venerable Dreadnought. We have the Purifiers, the crazy shunt guys that jump around like crazy.
Yep.
The Librarian and Valdus are both in the Teleportarium, awaiting shenanigans to happen so they can come and be the best that they can be. I have a unit of Hellions, 10 Hellions with +1 attack in reserve using the Webway Portal stratagem from Chapter Approved. And I have a unit of 5 Mandrakes in reserve as well. So comment down below, let me know who you think will prevail. It is kill points and it is Warlord kill points. And just before the battle begins, the Dark Eldar spring an ambush.
Oh, I am ambushed.
So I get to pick 3 of my units, redeploy them anywhere on the board more than 12 inches away from the enemy, which means that the Grey Knights thought they were attacking the enemy only to get caught in the middle of a Drukhari ambush. Okay, so I have redeployed my Raider with my Witches, Archon, Succubus, and Slith up here. The Venom that was down in the bottom here has been redeployed for the ambush, and so has the Ravager. And they've deployed up on this plateau 12 inches away from any enemy models. They are very close for comfort.
Yeah, kind of feeling them close to me.
Awesome. But let's see what happens. The Grey Knights do indeed get +1 to the roll to go first. Let's see what we roll. I rolled a 4. I mean, oh well. That's it. I didn't roll the 4 at all. I don't get the +1. The Grey Knights go first. Turn 1. Let's begin. It's amazing. Grey Knights, turn 1. Okay, the Grey Knights Gambit begins with relatively small movement. So the Dreadnought stayed put. But then, and then the Storm Talon kind of zoomed up over here. But then the Teleportarium acted up, and the Psychic Phase, Teleportarium acted up, and the Interceptors?
Yeah, Interceptors.
Yeah, there you go. They jumped all the way up here to intercept the ambush, and this was where most of the fighting happened, right on this rock. Literally. One corner of the battlefield. So we had the Warlord teleport down on the bridge, some smites go off. Then down here we had Grandmaster Valdus give reroll 1s to this Dreadnought with autocannons, who casted Astral Aim, so he could shoot anything with no line of sight, blasted the Raider apart, one which died in the explosion. The Interceptors charged into the Cabalite warrior that was left alive and killed him, only to get heroically intervened by both the Succubus and the Slith, killing 3 of the 6 models that were in the unit. Wow, so much happened on this turn.
Yep.
Meantime, the little flyer shot into the Ravager, who fared a lot better than the other stuff, and only lost 1 wound, which was lucky because I needed those heavy weapons against the heavy firepower of the Grey Knights. Then this Librarian Dreadnought, or Grey Knight Dreadnought, made the unit of Purifiers shunt all the way up here with Gate, and they put 1 wound on that Venom, but failed their charge as well. So they are now away from the main force, high up in the air. So we're moving on to Dark Eldar. Turn 1. It seems like it's already turn 3. So much has been happening.
Yeah, I know. Huh?
And this open war mission. So far, he's killed 2 Venom. He's killed a Venom, a Raider, and an entire unit of Cabalite warriors. So he's already up on the kill points power level.
I'm kind of glad. I think I did good. I could have done better, but you know, it's learning all the time. So
I love it. It's great, and the Warlords are going to have a showdown right here, which is going to be great. Yep. So the game. Stay tuned for this little spot of the battlefield right here. Okay, let's move on to the Dark Eldar first turn. Turn 1 for the Dark Eldar saw the Razorwing Flux speeding towards the Grey Knight line. Out of the shadows popped the sneaky mandrakes on the corner here, and they successfully put 2 mortal wounds, so 2 wounds on that Dreadnought. Then on this asteroid up here, the Venom moved up into a defensive position, and the 2 splinter cannons annihilated all 6 of the Grey Knights. That's kind of how that turn went.
Yep. They felt it go through.
So 6 armor saves had to be made, and 6 failed. That was incredible. That was crazy. Then we go on to this flank where the Hellions arrived from the webway, right back here in the corner, charged into Grandmaster Valdus, and put 2 wounds on him with 1 wound that was 2 damage. And consolidated, of course, into the Dreadnought to pull it into combat. They did lose 5 of their number, but I did choose to use 2 command points to hold them there so they wouldn't run away.
I think it was a wise choice.
Yeah. I need to hold up the Dreadnought, so at least there's no astral aim for 1 turn. So it needed to happen. And then we have the combat here on the top. Only 1 Grey Knight fell, and the Librarian survived with 1 wound remaining. You did have to use a command point, though, to keep him alive.
Keep him alive, yeah.
And the Archon passed 2 of his shadow fields he had to make against the mighty Demon Hammer. And in other shooting, my Ravager did fire into the Storm Talon
gunship,
and failed with all his shots. I did try and re-roll a shot, and he still missed. So it was fated to be. But the restoration protocols did give him back his wound. And because I didn't kill the librarian, he can gain up to D3 wounds. So it's going to be... Yeah. Okay, we're moving on to Grey Knight turn 2. I have turned the tides a little bit by killing an entire unit, but it's still kill points. So, you know, I've only killed one unit. That's only the power level from that unit. So let's see what happens as the game goes into its second turn and battle rages up and down and all across this asteroid belt. Grey Knight turn 2, and the Grey Knights unleash their fury. So this Dreadnought here is where the dice is, but it moved up and grabbed Voldus and gated him up to the top here. Well, actually here. And then he charged 11 inches to get into combat and smacked a couple of witches around. In combat, I did nothing in combat. He killed a couple of witches. But the notable thing was the Librarian gained 3 wounds thanks to restorative protocols, and then perils and lost 3 wounds.
Yep, and it was super useful.
But he is blessed or whatever.
Yes, he has a sanctuary.
Sanctuary. So he's got a +1 to his invul save. So his invul save is a 3+. My Archon failed his Shadow Field and finally. 3 wounds. Finally, the 4th one was a 1, and 3 wounds from the Super Hammer smacked him down. Over here, I did lose a Hellion, and that Dreadnought lost 2 wounds thanks to the Hellion's glaives. Oh, and then Astral Aim was cast on this Dreadnought, and the little Talon and the Dreadnought killed all my Razorwings to prevent them from tying up and moving up quickly and then tying up the Dreadnoughts, which is a smart move. So we're moving on to turn 2 for the Drukhari, and it seems like, oh man, it's crazy. I've only killed the 1 unit, but I'm kind of tying a bunch of stuff up. The characters up here, this combat is essentially going to decide most of the game because the Warlords are involved, and it is a game about killing Warlords.
It is.
So let's see what we can do. I do have some reserves that are relatively fresh at the top here. But this is, I love this kind of 3D game. It's been really fun having to think about multiple levels and line of sight and stuff. So really excited to see how this goes. Okay, on to turn 2. Okay, Dark Eldar, turn 2. Wow, what a turn. Had the Venom jump 16 inches down that way and put 1 wound on the Storm Talon. The Mandrakes moved up, but were unable to shoot anything as the Ravager flew down from its perch and shot into the Dreadnought here, blowing it sky high. And then shooting happened, and my Succubus's relic pistol killed the Warlord. Oh no.
Finally died.
Finally went down. So then I charged into Voldus and the Interceptors, and Voldus put 14 damage on my Archon.
Yep, which is a good output.
So my Archon, so it was Warlord for Warlord, and then I charged him in just for funsies, and then the Thunderhammer has put 2 wounds on my Succubus, but other than that, and then Valdus was brought low by the Witches as well. Okay, and then down here, the Dreadnought failed to kill any of the Hellions because they made all their saves.
Sadly.
And he is still stuck in combat. So moving on to Grey Knight. Turn 3. We're up to the Dreadnought, who's in combat. But every point that we each get now is worth double. So it's looking bleak for the Grey Knights. I don't know if they'll be able to pull it out from this one, but they are going down swinging, and the Warlords have been killed.
Yep.
Okay, on to turn 3. Turn 3 for the Grey Knights saw the Storm Talon drop into hover mode and put 2 wounds onto the Venom as the last cannons failed to do any damage. They failed to wound. Oh no. The Dreadnought in combat did kill all the Hellions finally. Just murdered them all. I failed all my saves this time. And then the one Justicar over here did a Vortex of Doom.
On himself
and everybody around him. Killed the Slith, killed the Witch, put 2 wounds on the... 3 wounds. No, 2 wounds on the on the Succubus. Almost killing the Succubus because I passed 1 Power from Pain save. And then he died. But he went down in a blaze of glory trying to get that. But it's still not the end of the game. So I have to try and kill this, and then boots on the ground kicks in. But if I don't, this is still a game. Yeah. I love it. Okay, so we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 3. Dark Eldar turn 3. All 3 lances missed the Dreadnought. The Mandrakes, though, did move up and put 2 wounds on him with their Bale Blast, while the Witches and Succubus quickly maneuvering down the pipeline. The Venom failed to do any damage against the Storm Talon. And we are moving to turn 4 for the Grey Knights. Let's see what happens. Okay, so turn 4 for the Grey Knights. Okay, so we had this guy shoot and kill a Mandrake. And then the Venom passed his invulnerable save, right in the corner there. And then he attacked, smited, and attacked my Ravager, did 1 more wound. So we're moving on to Dark Eldar turn 4. Everything has to try and kill this Dreadnought to end this game. Okay, Dark Eldar turn 4, and the Ravager connected with 3 shots and did 11 wounds, ending the life of that Dreadnought. So with that, Sam, that is game, sir. Yep. Any comments at the end of the game?
Honestly, that Justicar that like valiantly sacrificed himself while standing there and whacking arrows like, around.
As around everything battle rages on, he's like, vortex of doom.
Yep. I kind of like Kamikaze bombers on the tabletop, awesome. So it's kind of funny, yeah. And super fun game. First time against Dark Eldars, and I really enjoy how they play, how sneaky and tricky they are. It was a super game, super fun. Yeah, it was really fun. Thanks a lot for coming down to the studio. That was really entertaining. Hope to have you soon back on with some revenge from the Grey Knights. Make sure you stay tuned. We have the tactical corner of the game. It's definitely very interesting to play on a multi-dimensional table like this. So it completely changes your conception of how to play the game with line of sight and movement. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. As well, a big thank you to all the Patreons to the YouTube channel that support on Patreon. If you'd like to get instant exclusive access to really cool behind the scenes stuff, as well as pre-releases and free giveaways, make sure you go to Patreon and pledge and get access instantly. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. This is Skari, your grateful host, tuning out. Till next time, Skari out. It's an exclusive. We're playing the game. Lots of shooting.